Okay. Welcome everyone to week 2 of the Coalition League's spring season. I'm Random Min and Caster, and casting alongside me for game 1 is Adrit Luna. How are you, Luna, tonight?
Hey, how's it going? How's it going, yo?
Good.
Doing all
And
right.
yourself?
It's been a week. Let's put it that way, huh?
That it has been lots and lots of changes here for week 2. Week 1 was very competitive with a lot of action happening in game, but in this time in between week 1 and week 2, lots was happening outside the game. And it looks like the pro draft actually for game 1 has started. So game 1 will be between Pendulum Gaming versus MG Blaze, with Pendulum Gaming on the blue side, MG Blaze on the red side. And we already see the first ban coming through for Pendulum, and it will be a Zac ban.
All right. That's a respectable ban.
And
Zac's very good.
Yeah, and speaking of that particular ban, it is targeted towards the jungle. And for this game, MG Blaze has switched up their jungler between week 1 and week 2 here. And their jungler for week 2 will be Delay No More Crab.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with this player, so I'm not sure how decent they are, but we'll find out.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of that that substitution there, it is an E-sub, so MGB will be losing 2 bans for that. That's why we are not seeing a ban come out of MG Blaze there. Pendulum's second ban will be Misfortune.
All right. So, do you think they're going to try to single out a particular player to ban or spread out their bans?
Well, so far it looks like they're spreading out the bans there. Zac most likely targeted at jungle, and Misfortune most likely targeted at ADC. So it looks like they're just trying to stop sort of a AoE composition coming out of MG Blaze for now.
Makes sense. It makes sense.
And there is that second lost ban for MG Blaze there. So they will get 1 ban in phase 1.
So, if you're MG Blaze, who would you ban with this one ban?
Well, that's quite a difficult question.
What do you think would be the biggest threat?
Honestly, at this point in the game, it's kind of hard to say. And there has also been a change on the side of Pendulum here. They are running Ace Cakes, I believe, as the ADC here for compared to last time when they had Rejected King. So it looks like they banned the Diana there, so they're targeting at the mid lane Son of Rat. And the first pick from Pendulum coming out, Leona.
Okay. All right.
MG Blaze returning with a Caitlyn pick for their first pick and a Cassiopeia Hover. Thoughts, Luna?
Oh, they lock in the Cass. I'm not sure. I mean, doesn't Cassiopeia counter Diana with her with Cassio's pull?
Yes, Cassiopeia's ult would be able to stop a Diana engage. Her W would also stop Diana from being able to engage using her E. But it looks like they just didn't want to have to deal with Diana diving a potentially squishy back line. We'll have to see what they plan to do there. And Pendulum Gaming has picked Jinx as ADC to go alongside that Leona support in their bot lane there.
That's a classic bot lane. They both play very well off of each other. Jinx can slow to help Leona get in range if she's coming back from a roam, or there's always Leona combo into chompers.
And an interesting Nocturne jungle pick there from Timic. So potentially they banned the Diana from Pendulum, but they do find another diver there in the shape of Nocturne in the jungle.
So going off of Pendulum's bans, they definitely stopped the pick comp themselves, and now they're also running one. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's real interesting because you see Pendulum also banning AoE champions, and yet they picked Leona first pick. I guess Leona is just a really strong pick in the current meta here. And we see the last pick coming out of MG Blaze for round 1. It will be a Morgana, most likely going to the support role there. And we're into round 2 of bans. MG Blaze will have both bans, and their first ban here looking like an Echo.
Oh wow, we're going rapid fire bans with the
Yeah,
Olaf.
Pendulum really fast to come back with that Olaf jungle ban here. Most likely going to be targeting the top end jungle pool of MG Blaze, which haven't picked yet. MG Blaze returning the favor, going for the mid and top lane bans here. So we'll have to see what MG Blaze decides to ban for their last ban. And it will be a Shen ban targeting the top lane now.
All right. That's a very good ban because if Pendulum was able to get a Shen, that would set up Nocturne being able to get Shen in with a Shen ult. Shen can help Leo with an engage as well if need be, or keep Jinx alive.
Yeah, very versatile utility pick there. And we see an old okay. What
It looked
looked
like
like they were a
Wukong.
Wukong, yeah. We'll have to check and see if it glitched out there in the pro draft. And in the meantime, there is a Sejuani pick for MG Blaze there. So looking like all the AoE bans thrown out by Pendulum not going to stop MG Blaze from continuing to pick AoE champions there.
And Sejuani's.
Okay, thank you, Boris. So that is a Wukong ban, last ban from Pendulum Gaming. So yet another ban targeted at an AoE sort of champion. Oh, and a Kale pick from Pendulum Gaming. I believe it is the first Kale we'll be seeing in Coalition League. Very interesting, unorthodox pick there.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. Like they already have a tank with Leona. I guess it depends on what MG Blaze plays for their top lane, because that or what Pendulum's last pick will be. Because an Ornn. Okay,
Okay, so you think that's a Kale mid or top?
I mean that could be Ornn mid. Honestly, it
Yeah,
has been played.
that is true. Or mid has become a thing that's been rather popular in the last couple of weeks here. The matchup between Ornn and Darius, though, probably favoring Darius a little bit more. But a Kale Cassiopeia matchup mid would be rather rough for the Kale.
Yeah, honestly I think it's probably Ornn Cassio mid and Kale Darius top. Which
Yeah.
I think Kale would beat Darius just because she has better sustain and she can outrange his poke.
So composition-wise, Luna, which team do you think has the edge here coming out of picks and bans?
Um, Pendulum has a few. They have three really good engage tools with the Leo, the Nocturne, and the Ornn. They have a protect the ADC comp with the Kale and the Leo. And then MG Blaze, it looks like they could be potentially going for a split comp with Darius just trying to snowball, and then they go 4-1.
That would make sense. It's very typical of the compositions we've seen coming up MG Blaze in week one, where they often leave Dirty Hobo to split push in the top lane while the rest of the team form a massive team fight squad there. Either way, Pendulum Gaming will probably have a big job on their hands to try and survive the laning, because MG Blaze has shown very dominant laners across the board, while Pendulum has been a little weaker in lanes, and they've also picked champions like Kill and Jinx, which tend to need a bit more time to scale, and Nocturne not exactly known for his early game ganks there, so the lanes will have to survive to at least level 6, potentially a level 11 there.
That's very true.
Yeah, and with that, we'll be going into a bit of intermission as the teams begin to set up the games. We will be back shortly once they load onto the Summoner's Rift, and we'll see you guys soon.
Come and run again. You wanna do this right now? It's KDA. I'm a goddess with a blaze. 소리 쳐봐 내 이름 잊지 못하게. Loud, 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 loud. I could take you to the top. 절대 멈추지 못해. 내가 끝내주는 bag, yeah, yeah, yeah. When I started talk that day, oh you know how to react. I'm a picture perfect face with the wild in my veins. You can hear it in my growl, 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 growl. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. 다 할 수 없는 대본. 나와 되길 원한 널 확신해. We got it all in our hands now. So can you handle what we're all about? We're so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You can go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. Go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. You ready for this? Let's go. See, 언제든지 내 모습 매직 단 한 번에 내가 잡아 절대 기죽지 않지. 펴펴 네가 뭘 알아? 근데 수워서 원해도 원하는 게 얼굴에 보여. I'm troubling you, running it. I'm so cold. When I move that way, you gon' be so blown. I'm the realest in the game. Said I'm on fire with the blade. You're about to hear my name, ringing in your head like whoa. So keep your eyes on me now. 무엇을 보든 좋아할 거야. We're so tough. Let's get it, show you out. Can you feel the rush now? Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You can go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. Go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. 난 멈추지 않아. We go hard. We pop stars. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down. They could try, but we gonna wear the crown. You can go another round, 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 round. Wish you luck, but you're not bringing us down. Go hard, till we get it, we go hard. We so in it, we pop stars. Only winning, winning. Ain't nobody bringing us down, 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 down.
This is everything. The glitch mom, Michael, the word of love. It's Bobby, by the way. Let's get it. Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, going.
Okay, welcome back everyone. We've just loaded onto Summoner's Rift here. PLG versus MGB, Pendulum versus MGB. So as we load into the Rift here, it looks like it will be an Orin top potentially versus that Darius and Son of Rat on Kill versus Zyra Ascends Cassiopeia. And one thing to note is that Zyra Ascend has had Cassiopeia banned against him every game before this game. So it'll be interesting to see how Pendulum will deal with it.
Oh, looks like we might have an early invade.
Yeah, MG Blaze using the advantage of that Morgana there, just trying to pressure in. They will spot out just the Kiwi there, but just the Kiwi will see the vision of both the bot lane and jungler of MG Blaze. They do get deep vision there into the Raptor Pit and the red buff of Pendulum Gaming side. If they were to fight, who do you think would have a level 1 advantage?
Honestly, it might be Pendulum there, just because Sejuani would only have herself for her own passive, with Morgan Caitlyn being ranged.
Yeah, that's probably true. Probably why they didn't do a full invade there, just getting vision and backing out safely. Probably didn't actually want to fully engage into that fight. And we do see both junglers here starting on the bot side of the map. Delay No Crab taking their blue, and Timic starting their red buff, having strong leashes from their bot lane there.
So how do you feel about this Kale being mid into a Cassiopeia?
I mean, my opinions about Kayle is that she's just basically a minion till she's about level 6 when she becomes a ranged minion, and then level 11 when she finally actually becomes a champion. So I think she's going to have a really, really rough lane against Cassiopeia. And Cassiopeia too does tend to scale there, so we will have to see how that goes for Son of Rat. Top lane, two tanks just going at it there. Dirty Hobo trying to get some poke down, but looks like won't really get much, just farming up there. And in the jungle, we see Delay No More Crab, pardon me, finishing their bot side jungle. Timic has opted to go straight from red buff to blue buff, probably looking for a gank in the top lane there. Delay No More Crab finally heading to the top side to start clearing his top lane. Hopefully, maybe we'll get there in time to meet the gank of Timic. But in the meantime, Timic just looking possibly to invade, it looks like, into MG Blaze's jungle.
I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah, and it looks like he just drops a ward, so they will spot out Delay No More Crab as Delay No More Crab takes the red buff on the top side, but it will be cleared by the sweeper trinket there from Delay No More Crab.
Yeah, it's a very popular strat to just get an early ward down and base immediately to get the sweeper.
Yeah, and it looks like in this particular case, it was very effective there and will indeed clear out that ward which got dropped on the red side. Neither jungler really ganking at this point, both content to just farm out their jungles there. Timic did have the advantage on the top side, but decided not to take the scuttle top side, has instead rotated down to the bot side to take the scuttle there, and maybe potentially we might see the first gank coming out in the bottom.
Also could be potentially setting up for maybe an early dragon.
Potentially, we're still a minute out from any dragons here, but a minute is long enough for them to begin setting up vision. And very, very farm heavy right now in the game. Nobody really looking to get many picks or fights going off your top lane. 20 to 21, very, very even jungle. 24 to 26, fairly matched up. Mid lane, 27 to 28, which I think is a very good job by Son of Rat here, who is at this point still a melee champion versus the range of Cassiopeia, the bot lane, 33 to 29, but also very, very close. Teams separated by less than 100 gold at this point in the game.
It's a very close game.
Yeah, and first action, we see the root coming down onto just a Kiwi here, taking lots of damage from the bot lane of MG Blade. But Timic is nearby, looking like just there to escort his bot lane to safety, not going to show up there. And just the Kiwi will have to base off of that.
Yeah, that was a very good binding by Morg.
And topside, we see, looks like Complex is getting a bit of a lead here on Dirty Hobo in terms of damage. But he is low on mana, so he will have to be careful going forward in fights. Without the mana, he won't be able to do damage. And a beautiful root again from Wardbox in the bot lane, burning the flash out of Ace Cakes there.
Yeah, that was textbook.
Yeah, and for now, it looks like both junglers are just trying to hard farm up to level 6, both wanting access to their ultimates before they start ganking and getting team fights going here. A bit of a lead for Delay No More Crab there. Level 5, just probably about a camp or two. And yet another binding coming up from Wardbox. Every time we look down there, looks like Wardbox is getting a bind and she cannot miss. Got some aimbots going on down that bot lane.
Whoa. Careful with the aimbots.
And delay no more crab, starting up an early Drake. Has to be careful, taken very low, but the bot lane will come over, and that will be first Drake, Ocean Drake, over to MG Blaze.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for helping Sejuani clear. She'll have a lot more sustain. It's also going to be massive for Cass with the mana regen.
Yeah, definitely. Would you say that that's probably the most influential Drake for early game?
In this case, I think it's a very good first Drake. Because if the... See, what's our next Drake is going to be Infernal. So, well, I don't know, because if it's a Cloud Drake for Soul, that could be devastating for Pendulum.
Right, yeah. I mean, Pendulum would... MG Blaze would get the 20% at maximum cooldown reduction on ultimates there, which I guess would still be pretty big for them. And they would also get the movement speed buff at the end of that. And we do see the teleports coming out from both mid laners here, Zyrasen and Son of Rat, both using their TPs to get back into lane after their first buys. And we see a Vampiric Scepter on KO here.
Huh. That makes me think that she's rushing a Gunblade.
Right, yeah, probably a good buy there just to sustain a little better in lane and in team fights there. Zyrasen's on Cassiopeia, grabbing the Tear of the Goddess, typical first buy on the Morgana. And yet another binding coming out for Ward Box, this time delay no more crab, level 6, looking to make good on that. Will not have to out and will give first blood over to Bubble Lift.
You gotta respect the Morg.
Yeah, I mean, just each binding that lands will slowly chip away. Just the Kiwi, Leona really tanky, but even then, like, you just can't keep eating those binds to the face over and over again. And now Delay No More looking mid for a gank, but looks like he will get spotted out. There is a ward and river there, so they will see him coming up, still holding his ultimate, so could brute force a gank there, but looks like they'll just back off. Meanwhile, Timic has also hit level 6 Nocturne. We'll have to see where that ever so important, influential first ultimate goes, which lane he's gonna gank there. And which lane, Luna, do you think would be the most beneficial for Timic to gank there?
Well, the way I see it, he's got two options. He could either help get Cass ahead, even further than what she already is, or he can just snowball the bot lane. Oh wait, you're on Nocturne. It's been a long day. He could stop Cass and help get Kayle ahead, or he could ideally get Ornn ahead, I would think. So mid or top would be ideal for Nocturne to gank, and then bot would just need to try to play safe.
Fair enough, and it looks like the bot lane is getting completely smashed here. Yet another binding lands, forcing Ace Cakes to go back to base there. And we see a huge item discrepancy here. Bubble Lift having a DF sword, while Ace Cakes only sitting on the crit cloak and the pickaxe there. So, and 96 to 52 CS, that is a huge CS differential in the bot lane. We'll have to see how they can survive that when half the turret's already down and there is a level difference there.
On top of the one kill on the Caitlyn, and she just immediately gets an IE. She's like, hey, I have gold in my pocket, and now I have this. I'll take it.
10-minute Infinity Edge, that is massive on the side of MG Blaze here. Bit of a bot difference coming out for this game here. But Complex still able to trade even, down in CS in the top lane, but able to basically force Dirty Hobo to respect the damage coming out of him. Mid lane, we are starting to see a bit of a CS differential coming out here. The range out of Zyrasen and the damage that he can put out is starting to take a bit of a toll here. 105 to 88 CS, and the Dragon will be coming up in about 20 seconds here, so we'll have to see how that goes. And one thing to note was also that the Herald was taken down earlier, and Dirty Hobo is the one carrying that Herald, so we'll have to see if they look for a gank in the top lane to drop that Herald to maximize the damage there. Oh, and a flash from just the Kiwi going in alone. The rest of his team not there with him. Timic not choosing to out, taking lots of damage, got hit by a binding. Will flash out to safety there. And Kale now arriving, will get the ultimate off, but it won't be enough to keep Ace Cakes alive. Ace Cakes will go down. The ace in the hole from Caitlyn taking out just a Kiwi there. 2-0 for MG Blaze.
Wow. That was very clean with the re-engage by the Sejuani to cut off the Kale.
And we also see the Herald going down in the bot lane from Dirty Hobo and Bubble Lift as they take the first turret of the game, while the rest of their team takes second Drake, Inferno Drake, and it will be Cloud Drake, as you mentioned earlier, will be the third Drake, and Soul Drake here for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely not looking good for Pendulum at this point. What do you think that they need to do to be able to make a comeback at this point?
I think it's gonna be kind of rough for them. They're a little bit far behind right now, and Timic has yet to use his ultimate a single time so far. The Nocturne ultimate has yet to come down, and I'm looking at Timic to try and make some plays happen here for his lanes. What about yourself, Luna? What do you think is needed to get them back into the game here?
Personally, I think you play safe. You don't go past river. You ward where you can, and you wait for Ornn items. But that's not going to happen if Ornn just dies.
Fair enough, and it looks like they are going to try and hold, but mid lane, we do have MGB's bot lane coming up, and they will take, it looks like, that T1 turret, or at least most of the plates off of that. And for some odd reason here, we've got Pendulum leaving their support, just the Kiwi, alone to try and defend that turret. I'm not really sure he can do anything against MGB's bot lane alone.
Yeah,
Oh, and a good engage there from just the Kiwi onto Bubble Lift, but an even better Black Shield coming out, stopping the stun there. Will not be able to achieve much with that engage.
That was very good. That was very well played.
Timic, meanwhile, finally looking to top when you see the first ultimate of Nocturne coming down, and they will successfully get the kill. A shutdown there for Complex on Ornn.
That's 250 bonus gold in Ornn's pocket. Not to mention, will help get him ahead in level, or at least caught up.
Bot lane here, Dirty Hobo a little bit too far. Will get caught out by just the Kiwi, but looks like he will be able to get to safety there. Almost taking just the Kiwi down with the bleed there. Probably could have taken down the guillotine in his ultimate.
If only he had the mana. Feels bad, man.
Yep, looks like that first Ocean Drake there not quite doing its job enough for Hobo. It also looks like they've decided to opt to possibly lane swap. We've got Zyra Ascends and the Cassiopeia now in the top lane facing off against Complex on the Ornn, while we had Dirty Hobo split pushing the bot lane. The mid lane is still being sieged up there by Bubble Lift and Ward Box. Looks like they haven't been able to get much more damage off on the mid lane turret. Bot lane though, Delay More Crab going in alone onto Ace Cakes there. Almost takes him down, but just the Kiwi looks like they will be able to provide enough CC to keep Delay No More from getting Ace Cakes. Ace Cakes has to be careful. If Delay No More, Crab, can get at all onto Ace Cakes, he will go down. Dirty Hobo finally arriving, gets the hook onto just a Kiwi, then will get the execute this time. A flash and a second guillotine, and we see Ace Cakes go down. That's a double kill for Dirty Hobo.
The bait by the Sejuani was so good there. She was so tanky.
And Dirty Hobo continuing his dive there. Will go for a third kill, but will not pick it up. Instead, feeding over a shutdown to Son of Wrath. Timic now stalking him from the side. Will get the Fear Tether off on Bubble Lift there, but will get trapped and instantly burst down. Delay No More Crab with the one picking up the last hit on that. Son of Crab now dangerously low in the mid lane, has no ultimate, no intervention, will go down to Bubble Lift there. So 2 kills for 1 in the mid lane, and also the tier 2 turret going down to MG Blaze.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like a definite outdraft at this point. MG Blaze has just been outplaying them left and right.
Yeah, it's only 16 minutes into the game, and we see tier 2 turrets down in the mid and the bot lane. Top turret is tier 1 turret is still standing, but they are taking that Rift Herald now. We'll have to see where they drop it if they want to just take all those outstanding gold turrets, all those outstanding gold in the form of turrets in the top lane there. Dragon will be coming up in 15 seconds.
And with as far behind as Nocturne is, like, even though that MG Blaze just took Rift, Pendulum doesn't really have a good position or a way to even go on the Dragon as it is right now.
Right, and they absolutely have no vision out there either. Pendulum currently confined on their side of the map, barely having any vision outside their own base, while MG Blaze has very good vision deep into the jungle side of Pendulum here. And that will be third Drake down. Cloud Drake going over to MG Blaze, and they are at Soul Point. Dirty Hobo here looking like he wants to pick a fight, but he is 1v3. Not sure if he's aware of that. Timic opting to continue taking his jungle, while just the Kiwi gets some stuns and just basically trades off and scares Dirty Hobo off. And Complex manages to get the top turret, their first turret of the game for Pendulum.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Hobo is just there to show presence and try to force him to be there while the rest of his team goes top.
And it looks like they're setting up a dive here onto Complex. They will drop the Herald top. We see the early flash coming out of Complex to keep him safe. Will be able to get out while Bubble Lift gets to free fire on him there. Timic now rotating up the rest of PLG. All coming up. We see the Sadrani ultimate. They catch Timic. Timic goes down, does not manage to shield himself. Save. And Shelly gets a second shot off onto the second turret. Still alive. Complex just getting completely bursted down, and just the Kiwi not soon after. That is both the tanks down on the side of Pendulum Gaming there.
Yeah, it was a good attempt to stop that push with the Ornal, but the Caitlyn got black shielded, so she was a-okay. She was like, don't mind me.
There, choosing to not body block that, letting Ace Cakes go down. It's every man for himself here on Pendulum right now. Son of Rat desperately playing Ring Around the Rosies on the Nexus turret, just trying to survive. Can't really do much of a flash ultimate from Zyra Sense, catches no one at all, but her E's will do tons of damage to Timic. Timic will go down. Just a Kiwi now initiating, getting a beautiful Leona ultimate, but will not keep the team alive, or also getting a beautiful 4-man knockup there, but he will go down as they go, and every person is going down. Son of Red desperately trying to get a kill, will not get the kill, but Ace Cakes will pick up the kill onto Dirty Hobo there. So ultimately a 2-for-4 trade in that fight, but it doesn't matter as MG Blaze are knocking on the Nexus itself. Ace Cakes, the only one standing here for Pendulum Gaming, will not be able to hold them off, it looks like.
Wow.
And that is GG in a sub 20-minute game. 19 minutes, 37 seconds is game time for game one here between MG Blaze and Pendulum Gaming.
Yeah, GG, well played. GG.
Yeah, and before the game started, I mean, we knew that this was going to be the game between the top of the table here, MGB, and the technically bottom of the table, Pendulum Gaming. And it kind of showed here, Pendulum didn't seem to quite have any way to answer the lanes of MGB. 4-16, the final scoreline here.
Yeah, they didn't have any way to enter the lanes. They didn't have any kind of vision. Like at the end of the game, Leona has 11 vision score, which is that's rough.
Oof, yeah, that is really brutal here. And looking towards the next games here, MGB will be facing 100 Weebs, and that will be the game we'll be watching for round 2 here. Both of these teams near the top of the tables. MG Blaze now 4-0, 100 Weebs 2-1, and we'll have to see how their game 1 goes here. And meanwhile, we will see Pendulum Gaming will be facing off against DOV Nightfall. So we'll have to see if they manage to scrape a win somewhere here, and whether MGBs can hold on to their top spot against 100 Weebs.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good matchup. Like, I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, and with that, we will go into a bit of a break here. On this stream, the next game will be MGB versus 100 Weebs. On our second stream here, I do believe that they are looking at the KMS versus Roar Rampage game. So we will be going into intermission until some of the games are complete. But do feel free to join us on our second channel, twitch.tv/coalition_league, and we will see you guys soon.